good to be back on campus and getting back out of practice. So getting finals wrapped up, a bunch of in-home visits. Recruiting's going really well. Felt good to get back out there today and have a good practice. Guys had a lot of energy. It's good to see some new faces out there, some youngsters, maybe some guys that redshirted this year that still have a game left. We'll get those guys in action here this week and get them prepared for the game. So it's an exciting time. See some new faces out there.
How big is that blanket waiver rule that you can have those guys go out there and get some extra reps and also these extra practices?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good, just to get ahead, for the guys, for next year. And, we need to help, with being down some guys with the transfer portal. So there'll be some opportunity for some guys, and it's going to be fun to watch them.
Mark, is there is it different having to try to balance the old school like recruiting of the new guys coming in and then the transfer portal guys with all their official visit, or is it just kind of still the same, but just you got some older guys in different conversations?
Yeah, I think it's much the same. I mean, it could be different, when once in a while we may bring a transfer in during the week, and sometimes the transfer visits are slightly different. They're maybe not as many bells and whistles. They want to really look at football and see, where the fit is and the opportunity and things of that nature. And then, sometimes we just roll them right in. It just depends on when they could get here, what day they come, and so we just roll with it how we need to.
I know you don't reinvent the wheel during the dark time. Do you exercise maybe a few tweaks, things that maybe you haven't seen?
Yeah, I think you always try to have a few things. You have a little extra time. And I think everybody for the bowl game probably has a little wrinkle here or there, but nothing earth-shattering. Hopefully it'll create some big plays here or there. Always trying to find ways.
Mark, there are reports out there that Keontae has entered the transfer portal. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that is confirmed. Yeah.
Mark, this is the first time we've talked to you since Will and Chris announced that they're not going to be participating in the bowl game. Just how much does it mean to still kind of have them with their input and things like that, and they still kind of helping in some ways?
Well, they are, and they both have done so much for us. And every situation is always different, and both of these guys have been playing through injury. I mean, let's be honest, they both were not 100%, throughout the year. So we completely understand that and support them, and they're here and want to continue to help any way they can. They just they're not 100%, and they need to concentrate on that. So we're very supportive and thank them for all that they've done and continue to do.
Mark, now that you've been back on the practice field, how do you feel about your depth at running back and the remaining guys there?
Yeah, we feel good. There's still only one football. And there's we have the depth to certainly get through a game. And it's a little different. It'll be a little thinner, but it's one game, and we feel very confident in the guys that we have. And it's good. And running back's one position, and then you look at the wideouts and you look at some of the youngsters that may be redshirted, and you see them out there right now, and see a different level of speed, and it's kind of fun to watch those guys and see them continue to get better.
Mark, on that subject, have you decided who's going to call plays, and how the quarterbacks look so far?
Yeah, the quarterbacks have, you can probably guess what I'm going to say. They've had their moments, right? Each of them have had their moments. So probably a broken record on that one, right? They've had their days. They've had their moments. Each of them have done some good in some areas where they need to improve. But it's fun. It's fun watching them, seeing them get quality reps, knowing that we're preparing here to play in a game. We'll see where it goes. It's a little early for me to make that decision just yet. What was the other part of that, John?
The play caller.
Yeah.
Committee or one
it'll be
person?
by committee. I mean, Woody will have a lot to do with it. obviously I always lean on Vince when it comes to leadership and addressing and, being the vocal guy and leading on the offensive side, does a great job with that as well. And then we have some other guys that are getting an opportunity to get on the field and be active, which is good. And guys like Josh and Mark Perry, and so we have a good group, and I'm excited to see what they do as well.
Mark, you're a routine kind of guy. You told us during the regular season you enjoy the cadence of week by week preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Now this time of the year when it's kind of all random, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, you have to just deal with it the best I can. It's definitely a little different. It's been a little chaotic. Certainly the first week I was. They were. I think they were trying to kill me. I was just out of operation, and they had me going 5-6 different places in a day. I think they were trying to lay it on me. But yeah, they had me running. But it was good. It's been good, and that's an exciting time as well. It's chaotic and hectic and busy, but you're also going in the homes with the future players and seeing them, and they spend so much time coming here on their own a lot. It's fun for us to be able to go see them in their homes and spend some time with them.
How is the
How did you
shoulder?
hurt your rotator cuff? Or do you know?
I wish it was some exciting way, like I
I
was
thought maybe it was from
tackled
yelling
somebody.
at the
Yeah.
refs.
I probably had a little something to do with it here and there, but over the years, no,
Is it something you did or just progressed over the years?
it's been injured, but yeah, I kind of just injured it doing something silly, to be honest with you. Going to work early in the morning. Just had a little accident. I guess I'm getting old.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Mark, last time we talked to you, you said you kind of had your guy as far as your running back coach. We've seen him kind of be in the fold here now and help on recruiting. How's that transition going?
Yeah, really good. I'm excited about Jay. Really, brings a great energy, great expertise in special teams and in the leadership, in the command that he has. I'm excited about it. And excited that what he brings to the recruiting as well, and obviously coaching. He's coached some of the best backs. He's coached a lot of great running backs, and certainly has recruited at a high level. And again, with the expertise on special teams, checks a lot of boxes. So excited about having him.
Will, even though you're not going to be playing in the bowl game, starting to prepare for the NFL draft, how important is it for you to be here with your teammates and help out and during the bringing people in for the portal, just being a part of the process here? How is that for you?
Yeah, it's really important for me just because, I want to just make sure I'm able to cherish all these last moments with these guys. I feel like if I would have just kind of bounced out and gone about and done my thing, I would have not felt great about kind of how I would have left things. I want to be able to help teach these guys and be kind of like a coach throughout this process. And it's going to be really fun to kind of have a bowl experience with the dudes kind of for the last time. So just here working out, helping with the game plan and helping the quarterbacks and everyone else on the offense as much as I can.
As a competitor, was it a tough decision for you?
Yeah, it was tough. I made my decision pretty quickly, and I think that it was the right decision just considering the circumstances, especially just physically with me wanting to get back. I took some time after the Louisville game and really didn't do anything for a couple weeks, and I think that was a really, really good decision on my end, and just my foot's been feeling a lot better, finally getting into the swing of things, being able to run again and to kind of get back to normalcy there. So definitely feel like I made the right decision, but I know it's gonna, once I get down there and once practices keep getting along, I'm gonna feel like, I want to be out there, but I know I made the right decision.
Well, you suffered 2 pretty significant injuries, played through them. Injuries we knew about, Lord knows what else. Are you still in the healing process? Is that accurate? Or are you just trying to maintain?
Yeah. Definitely still in the healing process. My foot's, feeling like 85%-ish. Opposed to throughout the whole season was not even close to that. So, it's good to feel like that. And then shoulder, it's just a matter of getting the strength back, not taking any hits on it the last few weeks. I've been able to have it set in and scar in, and now it's just a matter of getting the strength back. But yeah, I'm definitely behind kind of where I typically am when I'm healthy from a strength and conditioning standpoint. So now it's just a matter of getting that back.
Anything else other than those two that you'd like to share with us?
Not really, no. Those are the two. I mean, I had a couple other little things, but nothing that I'm really nursing right now. Oh yeah, no, this is all good. It still hurts a little bit, but I mean, it's all good. It looked a lot worse than what it was.
Will you stay here to train, or will you go someplace else to train, or is it time? Or do you have a timetable yet?
Yeah, I'm going down with them to Nashville for the whole bowl experience. Then I'll head back to Connecticut with my family for a few days, and then I'm flying out west and training in Orange County, California, for my whole pre-draft process.
I know you got an invite. Not sure if you've accepted it or you plan to with the Senior Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to decide at least for another 10 days or so. I haven't been able to give it too much thought. I've had a lot of other things going on, whether it's like picking an agent and just really focus on just getting my body right. But yeah, it'll be something that I'm looking forward to think about because I really haven't given it much thought. And I was lucky enough to get invited to both Senior Bowls, the East West and the Reese's. So just kind of seeing which one I think is a better situation for me. And but I think there's a good chance that I'll play in it.
Will, you've talked about in the past that you said as far as Kentucky goes, you would help in any way you can as far as recruiting, portal guys, whatever you can, conversations. Is that anything you've had to do yet, or are you just kind of saying for the future I'll help in that way?
Yeah, and I mean, I know that we're looking at potential like quarterbacks in the portal, and I mean, I've been a part of conversations with those dudes just to kind of give them answer any questions that they might have, and to just provide any kind of support that I can with the rest of the coaches that are recruiting them. So that's been a cool process to be a part of. Definitely going to help in any way I can with that, and I think that I'm probably their best resource when it comes to that, considering I did the same thing and it's worked out pretty good for me.
How does that happen? Do they reach out to you, or do the coaches kind of like, hey, you could talk to Will, or do you reach out when you hear they might be interested? Like, where does that come from, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, the coaches would like just tell me like, hey, we're looking at this guy, like, would you mind just like hitting him up and start striking up a relationship with them, and that's typically how it goes.
Do you find that most of these guys are making their decisions based purely on a business decision, or how much emotion still goes into picking a school, especially from the transfer portal itself?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the guy's situation. If it's a guy that, I mean, has already got their degree or is just in their kind of last year or two of college football, I mean, kind of like me, it becomes a business decision. It becomes what situation is going to be most beneficial for them to reach their goals, which is for all of them, or at least it should be, to go play at the next level, you know? And I don't think there's a better spot here than here. And so, I mean, that's been a good kind of way to try to convince these dudes to come play here. But everyone's situation is different, and the craziness of the transfer portal and NIL and stuff has complicated it a lot. But I mean, when it comes down to what your ultimate goals are, I don't think there's a better spot in the country than here.
Talk about, well, I know an offensive coordinator hasn't been hired yet, or hasn't officially been hired yet, but what do you see for this offense next year?
It depends who they hire. I don't know. I mean,
I mean, what you know of the personnel.
How
good do you think this offense is going to be?
I mean, we're definitely going to take the next step. I mean, we were really young this year, and just as guys get more experience, and I know that we're going to be looking in the portal for other positions other than quarterback as well. So it's a matter of kind of how they're able to finish up that recruiting process and the guys that they're able to bring in. But I mean, the young guys, the freshmen, the redshirt freshmen, and the sophomores that have played this year, I mean, they're only going to progress even more throughout the spring. And I think regardless of who we bring in, I don't think the system will be shifting too much. So that'll be good for them to be able to just kind of build on this year.
What advice have you been able to give to a guy like Kaya, coming up? You've been through it before, and now here he is, ready to take your position?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, and I know that how nerve-wracking it is for those guys too, because they hear all these rumblings of us looking and trying to possibly get someone in the transfer portal. And at the end of the day, like, you just got to focus on yourself, and that's what I just told them. I mean, just go out there and do your best. And this is a huge opportunity for them. All three of those quarterbacks, I think that there's a fair chance that each of them are going to be able to get reps in this game. And I don't think there's a set kind of idea of what exactly we're going to be doing, which is exciting for them. I mean, it's pretty much a competition, and while that can be nerve-wracking or tough for them. It's just an opportunity to go out there and compete and kind of show the leader that they are. So I'm happy that they get to have this opportunity, and I'm kind of trying to be along the ride for it to help them in any way I can.
Well, is there a definite
Coach
need?
Boulware is here, so we are going to get him out here. So
Is there a definite need for a quarterback to transfer in, or do you see an SEC quarterback in one of these?
Yeah, no, I think these guys can do a great job. I mean, it's not my decision. It's up to the coaches to decide if they think that there is a better option out there. I mean, if they think that there's a guy that could possibly come in and do a better job, then I'm going to help him do that. But I mean, no one's going to be just handed the reins immediately. They got to come in and prove it, just like I did when I came here. Like, I had to earn the job. Nothing was handed to me. But yeah, I mean, as much as it sucks, like, this is life, this is football. Like, they're gonna, just like they're trying to get guys out of high school to come and take your job. Now there's the option of taking them from other schools, and you just kind of got to do your best and keep the right mindset. But it definitely is a difficult situation for them to be in. But I do think that all of those guys could develop into SEC quarterbacks for sure.
Will, as your time finishes up here in Lexington, this may be the last time you meet with us. Is there a moment or a time or an event or something that kind of sticks out as the most memorable thing that you kind of had happen while you were in Lexington?
I'd just say the bowl game last year. I think to just win that game, to hit the 10-win mark, and to end that game the way we did, standing on that stage holding the trophy, like, not a lot of people get to do that. And to work as hard as I have to become a starting quarterback at this level and to win that type of game for a program like this, that was really, really special. So I mean, that game and just the celebration afterwards and the culmination of that season was probably my favorite moment. And then a bunch of other awesome games too. The best feelings and the best moments are just after good wins, you know? Nothing feels better than that, and nothing feels worse than losing.
That said, how do you feel when you hear people like us or whoever say, well, these bowls are meaningless, and yet you shared in moments like that?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not. I mean, even this year, it's not meaningless, and people might think that I think it is because I'm not playing. But I mean, sure, if we were playing for college football playoff spot, I'm probably playing, you know. But I mean, this is an opportunity for so many guys to kind of just prove for once and for all, last time of this season, make a last impression, at least to prove to themselves and to the coaches and to everyone else in the world what they're capable of and what this team's capable of. And I know that all these dudes who are playing are really pumped to show that, and they're really excited to play a really good Iowa team. And obviously they're looking to get revenge from last year. It's kind of interesting that you play that same team in a bowl game 2 years in a row. But hey, they're looking forward to a good challenge, and they've been preparing well for it.
Man, this has been outstanding. What initially prompted me, obviously, was my relationship with Coach. But as I started to do more research on the university, I spent a year, not this season, but last season, in the NFL at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was the running back assistant. I was really in the lab trying to, perfect my craft a little bit. So I had a chance to learn from guys like Benny Snell, Najee Harris, all the guys in that room, as well as their running back coach, Eddie Faulkner, and as well as Mike Tomlin and that entire staff. So, when I got the call from Coach, man, it was like a no-brainer. I mean, the running back situation here, you had C-Rod here now. Obviously, I got close and personal with, seeing Benny and how he went about his work. And it just fired me up. As a running back coach at this university, I just feel like you ought to be able to get one of the best backs in the country. And that's what I want to do. I want to recruit guys, not just guys that are five-star guys or whatever that people think are good. The media says, I'm sorry, that's really good, but guys that I put my eyes on and think that they can play at the type of level that I've come accustomed to playing with.
What's your type of running back?
I like big guys, right? I like guys that can obviously take a pounding. And I say big, I'm talking physical. I want some speed to be able to finish the run, that home run threat. I was watching the Georgia game, and I kept thinking to myself, man, if a running back just breaks one, right? That's all it's going to take, and then you're right in the thick of that thing and have an opportunity to beat what is the top team in the East right now. So that fires me up to be able to have that opportunity to recruit that player to come in here and be able to provide what we need to get in and out of that stadium with the W.
Coach Dylan Ballard from Acia Blue. I was wondering, you came in at a busy time. It seems like on social media you guys have been traveling a lot. The portal is a different aspect now than it always has been. What's it been like these first few weeks? We know you've been busy, but the recruiting, all those kind of things.
Exciting. I love it. I mean, every second of it. I told Coach, he was thinking about, bringing me out after the bowl game or whatever. I'm not actually, participating in that part of it, but I said I can get going on recruiting. I can get going on trying to, get everything established here for special teams. It's just so much work I have to do right now, man. I mean, I just feel like, being here right now provides me with that opportunity to do some of the things that if I came in January, whenever our offensive coordinator got in, I would be a little bit behind it. And right now I'm getting out and I'm sprinting full speed, man, every step of the way.
Coach, Dick Gabriel, the UK Radio Network. You're new, obviously, to this school, not to this element, recruiting and all that, but as you learn, what can you say to recruits right now about this, what this university has to offer, what this team has to offer, that kind of thing?
I think it speaks for itself on the field. I really do. What this university has done is tremendous in the years that Coach Stoops has been here. Just the trajectory of this program has been continually climbing and climbing and climbing, and not that it hadn't had good teams in the past, because I remember coming in here the year we won the national championship at Auburn, and we had to kick a last-second field goal in order to get out of here with a W. I mean, so the fan support, the athletes at this university have always been in place, and I know an important ingredient to winning championships is playing great defense, and that's something that we've done here. And the other important ingredient to that is playing great special teams, and that's what I want to bring to this university.
Coach John Huang, NOLA Media. Coaches, especially at this level, have to be good teachers. What are some of your strengths in regard to being a teacher?
That is my strength. I am a phenomenal teacher, an X's and O guy. That's always carried me through this profession. That's how I've gotten different, areas of this profession. I've been a running backs coach, I've been a tight ends coach, I've been an O-line coach, and I'm a special teams coach, and I do all four, all the big four, as well as field goal. The only ones I haven't done is field goal block and punt return. I typically leave that up to our defensive staff. I say punt return, punt safe. I typically leave that up to our defensive staff because we work those two usually together in practice.
Coach, you had time to take a look at the personnel on the special teams side? If so, how special is it to have somebody like Barry on returning the ball? We've seen a lot of big plays from him in that area.
Well, I do know we have a phenomenal return man here. To be quite honest with you, that I haven't gotten to that point. That's why I wanted to be here. I haven't gotten to the point of actually evaluating our personnel here and seeing what we can and cannot do, what we need to do going forward. What I've been focusing hard on is trying to bring in players right now, whether it's continuing the recruitment process that everyone's already started, or getting a great feel for next year's class and making sure that I'm on top of all of that in that regard. So in terms of evaluation of our personnel here, that's coming. That's another reason why, when the team is out doing their thing in the bowl game, I'm going to be spending time here in this film room, getting acclimated to all the things that I want to see from us going forward.
They had some real issues with the mechanics this year, as you probably know by now. Snapping, holding, and kicking. Are you a good teacher in those areas?
I'm a good teacher in every area that Coach Stoops has hired me to do. That's why he brought me in here. I coach all of that. I coach our snappers, I coach our punters, I coach our kickers, as well as the core. So I have a regiment that I go through. You could just look at the history. My long snapper at Auburn is still in the NFL. He's playing for the Chargers right now. His name is Josh Harris. He's an all-pro. I got kickers in the NFL. My kicker that I recruited, gifted him by Eddie Grand. I told Eddie when I got here, he was a sophomore when I took over at Auburn, but a kid by the name of Cody Parkey, I went in to evaluate him and make sure that he was what I was looking for, and he sure was. And then I recruited a kid named Daniel Carlson to go to Auburn before I left there. Had some good punters there. Had a really good punter there. I had the Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Year in Austin Seibert, who's also a specialist of mine. I also recruited the kid that they had after that, which I didn't finish my career with him. I took another job, but a kid named Gabe Burkich. So, and then I signed a long snapper there for 4 years, and he snapped for me all 4 years. So yeah, I'm well aware of how to go about getting the things accomplished that we're looking for, and also bringing a presence in the room that guys can look to and understand, hey, this is who's coaching that.
Mitch Brown, 556, by the way. You know, they always tell players go to the school, not for the coaches. But for you as a coach, you've been at, numerous stops. You said you were in the lab working. Why did you feel like this, was the perfect place for you to continue to grow your profession and your rank?
Well, first and foremost, being in the lab with all the things that are transpiring in college football, one of the things that I figured out in the year that I was absent was, there's a lot of coaches in this profession in college that aren't preparing their players for the next level. Over 50% of the teams, or 50% of the personnel on the teams, they're making a living doing what? Playing special teams. You're not going to put Najee Harris, for example, on the special teams. You're not going to put Minka Fitzpatrick on special teams. You're not going to put TJ Watt on special teams. So all those starters, they're starters on offense and defense. They're those multi-million-dollar guys that make a living doing what they do in the stadiums. But the other half of that football team is making a living on special teams. And if you want to be a better player, if you want to have a chance to get to the NFL and make the roster, you have to start honing in on your fundamentals and techniques in special teams. So when a coach says, I'm not going to have a full-time special teams guy, on our staff, that's what I am. And I got another position, but I'm a full-time special teams guy too. I can take that load. I've been handling that load for quite some time. So if you're not going to have a guy like me that goes off and studies all the different aspects of the game, then you're cheating your football team. You just care about that kid while he's in your program. That kid has a goal and a dream to play in the NFL. And I can't tell you how many guys I saw during that year that I spent with the Pittsburgh Steelers, multi-talented dudes. Can he play a special teams for you, Danny Smith? No, sir, he's not a special teams player for me. Can he play a special team? Yes, sir, he can play 3 of the 4. I want him. And that makes a difference. So I'm trying to help these kids realize their dreams. That's my whole goal. And I'm here to serve them. So that's when I was in the lab, that's one of the things I taught myself, from listening to different guys talk, that I want to be for these players. Just an outlet, a resource that they can come to and help them develop and realize their dreams.
Coach, John Clay with the Wexon Air Leader. Your time with the Steelers, what did you learn from Mike Tomlin?
That very thing. He told us a story last year, and it stuck out to me, and that's really the fabric of who I want to be as a coach. He said that when he was working for Tony Dungy, he said Tony Dungy taught him that before he ever walks in the building every day, what can I do to be of service to everybody in that building to make their day better? I'll tell you, he sent me a note one time. This is after the fact, or actually before I found this out, but he sent me a note one time and put it on my desk. He said, man, you've been outstanding since you've been here. I appreciate the relationships that you've made around the building. Man, I can't tell you how pumped up I was when he said that. I mean, I was so fired up when he said that, and I'm like, that's what I want to be. I want to be giving. I want to give the kids energy. I say kids, young men, I want to be able to feed into their lives every single day and provide whatever they need from me, because I'm here for them all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You mentioned Benny. What can you tell us about how things are going there? He's not getting all the reps, but Najee's there now. But what can you tell us about him?
Benny's making a living on special teams. He's making a living, and he's there to provide the necessary depth at the running back. Not that he can't do it, because he can. You saw him step in there and get it done. But he understands his role. He's not a selfish player, and he goes out there and gets the job done week in and week out. He's getting paid for it very well right now.
You like him?
I love him. Love him.